What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Work Talk Podcast, where I talk to Bay Area folks around what kind of work they're doing, whether it's their job, their business, their personal project, and what motivates them, what's their mindset. Today, I have my friend who I've known for a while, Mike, with me. And Mike, if you could tell myself and the listeners what you do.
Hey, John.
What's up?
Crazy to hear the podcast intro without the music. You know.
Yeah, I appreciate you. If listeners, if you don't know, Mike has been consistently listening to the podcast and giving me feedback. So that's what's up. He's a real good friend.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, I work for let's just call it an electric company. As an accounts analyst, I manage the vendors that we work with, make sure that they get paid.
Yeah, and I was
almost like accounts payable. So whenever we hire vendors to do work for us,
right,
we set up purchase orders, and I create those and manage those in our system.
Yeah. That sounds like a solid job. And whenever we chat, what I wanted you to be on the podcast for is because a lot of the people I was talking to are like YouTubers or people starting writing comics or hypnotists.
Right.
Those kind of jobs.
A lot of fun stuff.
Yeah, fun stuff. But in my world, I talk to a lot of people who just have like a solid job. And I feel like a lot of people are missing out on the meaning of just hard work and having a job that's solid. It may not be a sexy company that has like where you're gonna feel like you fucking want to tell everybody about it, but it's just real good work that has meaning. And I like how we talk about that a lot because most people, that right there is all they need. Maybe their passion is their kids and work is kind of just the means, but it's good enough to supply them with that work-life balance or whatever else. And I felt like that's kind of where you land, right?
I mean, for the longest time, I don't know if I told you, like I had a really hard time finding a job after college.
I remember, yeah,
I went through.
Me and you, like, dude, my resume sucked so bad. I went to career counselors. I hated job searching, man. We were reading each other's resumes and cover letters, and you were giving me tips. And we went to that workshop, that resume workshop. Remember, with that guy who was he was like a nationally recognized resume writer. And he came in with pink shoes and jeans.
wait.
San Francisco
State. SF State?
Yeah, remember?
Yeah, I think I remember that. Yeah.
So yeah, I was like, okay, I got to figure out this whole job search thing.
Yeah, and like when I first started, I was like, man, I gotta do something I really love, like that I'm passionate about, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that kind of, I guess, restricted me from applying to other jobs that I would be happy doing.
Right.
So.
Yeah. And that right there. So in my job, I always say I'm a career counselor. I work with students and I help them find a major, pick a career, help them find jobs and internships. But another side of my job, I work with companies looking to recruit students for jobs. And a lot of times these are companies that no one fucking knows, right? It's It's the DHL that's like, we have solid jobs, or all these other companies. And I'm like, yeah, man, that's true. All these students are wanting to apply to Google or Amazon, but not everyone's going to make it because supply and demand. And I think they're overlooking these jobs with these other companies that could be just as meaningful.
Right.
But I think comes down to self-awareness. Like, everyone has to find out for themselves. I think everyone should try to do something they love, whether it's on a personal project or applying to a job that they love. But then from that experience, you're going to get some self-awareness and find out, is it really that important for me to get this job that I think looks cool or makes a lot of money because I want to be like the Wolf of Wall Street? Or, man, am I more simple and calm than that? And am I looking for something simple, which sometimes may be like a lot of these like nice jobs that people want will cause them to work 50 hours a week, 60 hours a week. It could be very
Yeah.
stressful. But some people might say, you know what? Actually, I don't want all that. I want to spend some extra time with my parents who are sick, and I want to spend the next 5 years with them and not miss a second if I can. And I'm like, that's, everyone has their own thing. Self awareness, I think, is huge.
Yeah. And it's just, back to finding meaning at a job. I mean, you could be super passionate about your job, and that could be great. But then you could also be super passionate and be working with people that you don't get along with.
Mm,
You know, you could be super passionate about your job, but you could also be working long hours. So
right,
I think
right.
it's just these
That's an
different
interesting
factors
point.
that
Yeah,
there's a sexiness behind today's generation about find something you're passionate about,
yeah.
but that shouldn't be the only factor. I mean, it's a factor you should definitely consider, and it makes work easier.
When I work with seniors graduating from college, they're always thinking about the job, the company. And then when they finish college and they get a job, they'll email me, "Hey, you can we chat?" I'm like, "Okay, cool, cool." I'll see them a year after they've graduated, and I'm like, "So what's up? How's it going?" And I notice most of the time, what they want to talk about is not the job, but the people they work with, right?
Yeah.
Like whether it's
Yeah.
their awesome boss or their shitty boss or their great
Right.
coworkers or not. The people that you work with really like make a big
Yeah, it
difference.
makes it makes a big difference, right?
Yeah.
You're gonna be interacting with these people, and not only that, like if you're really like a super, let's say you consider yourself, a super hungry individual, and you want to be the best and top of your game. When you go into corporate life or a job, I mean, this is not if you own a business or anything. Or maybe it is. I don't know because I've never owned a business before. But people there, they're super competitive. They're hyper competitive. These are hyper competitive people that you're going to be working with, right? And I feel like a lot of people say that they want something, but you know, it's like what you talk about, the grind. Are people really, really willing to put in the work and not just stay after hours, but are you willing to, uh, I guess, like not step over people's back, but
Hmm, hmm.
be willing to say things and do things that maybe you wouldn't do to a family member or a friend to
Oh,
get
I
something
see.
that you
I
want.
see.
Because at work they always, I don't know if this is like a corporate American culture type of thing, but they always try to spout how, oh yeah, we're like a family over here. Us right here, my coworkers are a family.
Right.
But you don't fire a family member because they're late.
Yeah, yeah. No matter
Or
what,
they make a wrong decision
yeah,
about
no
something.
no matter what, a business, it wants to be a family feel, but it's in the end it's a business. And
Right.
there was a businessman who I went to when we used to go to seminars a lot, they said,
Right.
"You may love your business, but in the end, your business will never love you." So it's
Yeah.
a weird, like, you have to love your job, but you also have to know not love it so much. It's weird.
Yeah.
And corporate culture,
Yeah.
yeah, has that. We're all a family, but people could be competitive and wanting to move up on one
Right.
another, and you have to sort of treat it like it is a competitive game.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's a game, and I feel like people don't really know what the rules are of the game.
Right,
They play by different rules,
right.
you know.
I
So
think it's really interesting from someone who has their own business or works for themselves compared to working in a team or working with a
right,
company. I think both are good. It just depends on your style. If you're the type that likes to work with the team, there's good and bad. The bad is, yeah, you can't just always do your own thing because you have to keep other people in mind. The good is, with the team, you could probably do a lot more shit or cooler shit than if you're just by yourself.
yeah,
So being able to, so someone wants to work with a group of people and they're like, I don't need to be the top of my company or CEO or founder or start my own business. I could work with the team and be good. But knowing how to work with a team, I think that's a skill in and of
oh yeah,
itself, right?
oh yeah, yeah.
That's where people talk about the
It's
whole
almost, yeah,
corporate politics and stuff.
give feedback, but in a certain way where other people don't get offended
Right, right. Yeah,
by
yeah,
it.
yeah. It's a weird
you
balance.
know,
Hold on, let me plug in my laptop.
Sure.
Could you hear me?
Yeah.
Um, I feel like when working with a team, it's a weird balance of knowing each person, and based off that person's personality type, you know how to then work with them. And you sort of have to. Do you feel like it's important when you work with a team that you adjust your style for each person you work with, or do you
Oh
stay
yeah.
consistent with just who you are and like, you know what, I'm assertive the whole way through, and I'm going to be assertive with each type of person?
No. Yeah. You have to. I mean, I feel like, or maybe it's me and your style that we have the same thing, that you have to adjust to every person.
Yeah,
And some people on a team, you maybe not even don't even want to work with them.
yeah,
You know, that could be your relationship with that person on the team. Like, we're just not going to talk to each other
yeah.
because because it's not productive.
All right. How do you work with someone that you don't like to work with?
Oh, so can you say that again? I think you're kind of breaking up.
Yeah, let me make sure that connection's okay.
Okay,
How do you go about working
let me
with
make sure.
Yeah, how do you go about working with a group, and then there's some people that you just don't get along with?
Um, I would say I just try to avoid confrontation.
Yeah.
And if I get asked questions, I try to give a really direct answer, almost like yes or no.
Mm-hmm.
And when I
Mm-hmm.
ask questions, I try to be really as direct as possible.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I don't like working with people because, I mean, with a certain person, maybe because our personalities aren't the same. Maybe they're really like extroverted all the time or something, and I can't manage that energy
Right,
like
right.
they can. So I just try to get the information I need or give the information I need in the most direct ways possible, I would
Yeah,
say.
that's good.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
What's your advice for some of these people who's eventually going to get these jobs? I'm always thinking about the perspective of the young adults just because I see them all the time. All right, so someone's about to graduate from college, or they're about to get a job, work with this big corporate company. Yeah, would you give them, what kind of advice would you give them?
I would say be really mindful of your personal finances. Like, once you find a job
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
once you start generating income, me and you, we talk about Dave Ramsey a lot, and
Yes, yes.
have about cutting debt and saving money. And that's the thing that really changed my life and really gave me the power, I think, to really feel that I don't like once you're really good with your personal finances, you're kind of ready for an emergency. You're kind of ready,
Yeah.
like if you were to get laid off or if you were to get fired or lose your job, you don't fear it as much because you know you've taken these steps. So personally, you're okay and you could survive
Mm-hmm.
if
There's a
something like
there's a
that happens.
peace of mind. There's a
Yeah.
I feel like there's a lot of things I could do now because I don't have to worry about this.
Right, right. Or you could be
Uh,
more honest at work, or you could, you know, you don't feel as stressed out all the time.
yeah.
So
So
yeah,
what you're trying to say is, what you would tell the college student is, all right, when you get your first paycheck, don't spend it on dumb shit.
yeah. Don't spend it on dumb shit. If you can, try work on your student loans if you do have that, or
Yeah.
clear off any credit card debts or anything like that you might have.
Yeah.
Take a listen to Dave Ramsey.
No, it did feel good when I paid off my debt. I'm like, it's a good ass feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good
Could you
advice.
imagine, like, yeah,
Telling That's true. I could see a lot of people splurging when they get their first job.
right.
Yeah.
And then a credit card bill comes in, and then they have all these stresses at work. They're like, oh man,
Hmm.
I got to pay these credit card
Yeah.
bills, or
And it reminds me
you
of,
know.
yeah, I think my parents, they always complained about money, all that stuff. And I think that's why when I got older, I'm like, okay, I'm going to make sure I got this whole thing taken care of. And I feel blessed that I feel blessed that I can say I don't really have a lot of money problems. Not that I'm rich,
Right.
but just because I look at life in a very minimalistic way, and I know what's important for me, and I budget right, and I'm happy with it, and I'm happy. That's all that matters.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Finances. That's good.
Yeah.
I think that's solid talk though. But I like how we talked about this because I haven't talked about this with all my other guests. It was usually about them working on the personal project or business. But what we talked about is what I talk about with 80, 85, 90% of the people I talk to in regards to what's their career goal. And so
Right.
I feel like this is a realistic talk. I do think though it's important. I am a big pusher of kind of, that grind and that hustle kind of fad that's going on. For me, the reason why is because I really like the whole, just the journey, I guess you could say. And
Right.
that's why I like to push for it. But I think that entrepreneur mindset is good to have, even if you're trying to start a business, but also if you're trying to find out what you want to do, or if you get a job. I think it's good to have that mindset. But I also think that you may not keep that mindset, but I think it's important to try it out to see if you do. Because I think so much people
Oh yeah.
never, sometimes they'll always play under the radar with their jobs and careers, always try to do the bare minimum. And I think those are the ones who
Yeah.
end up having those jobs that they hate, or they end up
Yeah.
10 years later, they're in a job they don't like, they're drinking in a bar, and they have that oh shit moment, like, what the fuck am I doing with my life? And I think it's because those people they've never tried stepping up to the plate and swinging. So I think
Yeah.
everyone should try and feel what that's like, and then just see if that's for you. And if not, then fine. It's great. Playing a supportive role with the company is perfectly great, and that's what can make you happy. But at least now you know. And I think so. My biggest advice, and this is what I tell students, is just try something as much as you can, because it's all about self-awareness. And from the self-awareness, that's where you're going to find out what makes you happy, and that's how you're going to be able to find meaning through things, because now you've had experiences. So
Yeah.
I'm just preaching.
Yeah. No, definitely. Yeah. No, I definitely agree. Yeah, I definitely agree. I think I like your philosophy about that, especially it's, a lot of people feel that if you want to start a business or a project, you have to dedicate all these resources to it or whatever, but you really don't,
Right.
just time. You don't need, especially in today's time, you don't need money to start up a business.
Yeah.
You don't need many things. Right?
It's so easy now. Yeah, it is a lot easier though.
Yeah.
All right. That's it. Thanks, Mike, for being on the podcast. Listeners, I appreciate your time. My next guest, I have to confirm, might be my mentor for my job, which I do job development for. I have to confirm with him if that's going down this Sunday. All right, everyone. Thanks again, Mike. You guys have a good one.